All right. All right. Okay. Well, first off, thank you for everyone from coming through. I want to set a couple ground rules, and then if anyone has concerns with the ground rules, we can, you know, we can get that sorted. We should talk in our normal voices. Rather transparently, I am more concerned with eavesdroppers that don't want things to work out for everybody more than anything else. And I think that's kind of it, right? I'm gonna kind of try to act as like the mediator in all this. My only interest is the benefit of each and every person in Los Santos, and figuring out some sort of solution that generally works for everybody is my end goal. I'm not under any kind of delusion that everyone is gonna walk away with 100% of what they want. But the closer we can get to that, you know, the better. This is Daisy Moss, the chief of police. You know, I do believe that this is probably going to be one of many conversations. And, you know, if at the end of all this, it means more understanding by everyone as to why things are happening, I think that's good, regardless of whatever actions come out of it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, all right. So, all right, easy.
So I'm here today because I do genuinely want to hear from each and every one of you, what your issues are, what you have been seeing happening, and then, you know, we can kind of go from there. But I don't, you know, whoever wants to start, and tell me just what your experience has been, kind of how long this has been going on for, or if there was kind of a moment in when there was a shift and things changed. I think it's important to note that.
Yeah.
You mean a shift on what we've encountered from the cops?
Yes.
Okay. I think if we want to
Just
talk
go around if you want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can start, you whatever.
Yeah, I think for me, for a shift, if we want to go straight into that as a specific starting point, is a shift that I've seen that I have actually liked is I now don't have the mayor turning up to drug calls with a gun pointed in my face. That's a nice change. To start this on a positive note. I don't have Max turning up.
Wait, what the fuck?
In a skirt and a police badge, waving a gun around in motherfucker's face, shouting all this sort of shit like a police officer. This is good. This is good. In terms of since then, and how things have gotten worse as well, would definitely be a case of, I mean, shit, like, it's just, I think for me, is there have been more communications, but that has also opened up to way more lies. To give an example on that, for me, it's been stuff like, for example, I was personally specifically told, right, in a really roundabout way, including a lot of talk about, I'm not condoning violence, but if you guys bang in the South Side, I care way less, and I'm not gonna roll in like it's Vinewood or Chumash or wherever the fuck else, right? And then let's say we're banging in the South Side, and we'll get the same, if not more, response than before. It's like, don't even tell me, don't even give me the. If it's not gonna be the case, just don't lie, right? So then we got this whole thing of, how can we talk to any cops? How can I talk to you right now and you tell me things? If one of the things that I've talked about before of how do we still settle our beefs in the streets in a way where you're more understanding of it? Because straight up, it's been an issue for a minute where we're banging it out. Shots are going off. It's fucking crazy. And then the cops roll in like a third gang. They're just coming in and they're like, all right, stop now. If you don't stop immediately, I am going to shoot you in the face. So it's like, that's literally, I feel like it's just fucking, I understand that you've got to protect the streets and the civilians and shit, but it feels a lot like there's a lot of cops more interested in getting involved in the shootout rather than locking down an area and making sure no civilians are in the area at danger right now.
Can I summarize what you're saying? And tell me if
Yes.
I'm wrong. Is that you're saying you were given past expectations to keep it in the south side?
South of
But
the Olympic, to be
south
specific.
of the Olympic, and what you're finding is that it sounds like a false promise because you are banging in the south side and you're getting the same response you would get north of the Olympic. And so
Literally I'm
it's like,
literally
why are
telling
you
my
telling
gang,
me this
keep it in the
when you're
south
not
side
going to
if you
hold to it?
can, and then
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
We have had multiple shootouts in the south side when the cops come in just the same as any other place, which is completely the opposite of what I was told.
So now it's a question of what is it actually, and is it going to be adhered to? Would that be
Yes.
accurate? Okay.
Yes.
I'm taking notes, by the way.
Yeah. It's like you tell me one thing, I do that. I literally, I go, okay, you want me to do that? I will tell my whole fucking gang, do that, based on your promise, and then I look
Yeah.
like a fucking idiot when the cops just go back on what I was told.
Mm.
That just makes me look like a complete fucking dumbass, and take away the whole specific situation about it, right?
Do you know who
Take
told
away
you
this.
that
Yes, it was
initially?
Denzel Shiesty. Take away the specifics of the situation, right? And go broader on a cop tells me this, I do this, I then get shit on because I didn't act, because the cops didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So now how do I talk to cops, and how do I trust that they're actually going to do what they tell me? How do I even have conversations full stop if I already do something that they asked me to do and then they just go back on it anyway?
Okay.
Okay.
Ben said that same shit to me as well before about the whole South Side thing. So it's not even just with the ballers.
Yeah.
He told you guys as well, Lex?
Same, yeah.
What about
To
you,
the south
Saints?
side.
I can't say I've spoken to them personally about being told where
Gotcha.
to shoot, but we've always kind of gone off the principle of trying to keep things in the south side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind giving me a minute? I got a call. Another person
problem.
that should probably be
Yeah.
here, so I just let
Okay.
them know.
All right.
James, you got more to add?
Yeah, I mean, with what you were saying about sort of when the shift sort of happened,
Bro,
the
this
first
is
time I
already
really noticed
huge.
shit going downhill heavily was when TRT and Den Shiesty started posting pictures about the people that they were catching, really acting straight up like a gang on Twitter. I know that gets
That
brought
was
up.
fucked.
That was shut down. I just want to say.
They put Larry on a
when-
fucking CD case.
When I was made aware of those twatter posts, I did shut that down. I spoke to the leaders of TRT, and my understanding is that that has not happened again.
Yeah, no,
but
that's
please
right.
Happened to
correct
us as
me.
well, though. So. Pretty recently. I don't know how long ago it was stopped, but within a 2-week window, we had the issue happen.
Yeah, no, that was made extremely clear. That was not going to happen. They're on a very tight leash as far as that is concerned, and have the understanding that, certifications are very much a privilege, and if they fuck around with those and they are antagonizing, they're not going to have those certifications, and they're very much aware of that. So there is really no excuse if that happens again.
I mean, yeah, I get what you say. It's still with the photos, right? But that they
I know that there has
TRT
been
still be chatting shit all the time.
And this is a conversation that Nino and I have had in the last week regarding the shit talking, and obviously it's a slightly different situation than the posts, and I think that it's one of those things where people are going to banter, right? And maybe you think you have banter with somebody, but maybe you don't have as much as you think you do. And so I have been actively because trying to shut down the shit talking. It's not you know, it's conduct unbecoming of an officer.
Yes, that's
You
the
know,
phrase.
while I understand that, you know, there may be a cop that has a certain relationship with, you know, somebody, and they can have that exchange and rapport. They have to keep in mind that other people see it, they think they can jump on the bandwagon, and then it just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It just
Snowballs?
escalates from
Yeah.
snowballs. That's a good word. So we have put into place, you know, obviously expectations as far as that goes. You know, people will, you know, respond to calls and whatnot, but they don't need to be a dick about it, right? I'm very much of the mindset that, you know, you can do your job, you can arrest people, but you don't have to make them feel bad for it. You don't have to make them feel bad for getting arrested. And I don't want people to feel bad, like, you know, these things happen. So I am putting a lot of weight on that, and we are heavily monitoring
Yeah.
it, and it won't be tolerated. And if there is shit talking, if there are those kind of antagonizing or passive aggressive twats or whatever, or you are getting phone calls from officers saying stupid shit, I need you to tell me, and I need you to send me, you know, the pictures and whatnot, or, you know, a command member, so that way we have the evidence to do it. Because I can tell them till I'm blue in the face, you know, don't do this, but having that actual evidence is just going to help me with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a situation, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago now. Shiesty decided to put a team together, push our alleyway down on Covenant. So the boys tried defending that shit, you know, tried holding their own. Shiesty put them down, and I got a phone call from Shiesty when I woke up. He started calling me, talking about, I just smoked your Z team. It was light work. Fuck you gonna do about it? You need to pattern up. Literally trying to get me to come shoot him.
I'm gonna piggyback off that here in a second. But go ahead, I know you're about to respond.
Nah.
There's like, yeah, like that kind of shit. That's not gonna fly. They shouldn't be doing that. It's just nothing more to say about it.
Can we go in a circle here, and which officers are engaging of this? I'm gonna write it down. Whatever I'm writing here remains, like, it's not getting publicized. You know what I mean?
But I want to. Nor there with me, but I'm telling you, for me, it's everybody, and so I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna repeat anything that anybody says. I'm just gonna say that I agree with Andre and James so far. What I'm gonna go ahead and get into now is what she talked about to begin with, which was the atmospheric shift that everybody's seen. So we had an issue. Just everybody's had an issue with them coming down, kind of trying to throw the weight around. They'll come down, drive through, and be like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here." Well, I'm gonna be here if I want to be. It's not I'm patrolling or it's all I'm responding to a call. It's I'm gonna be here if I want to be. Okay. So then, you know, allegedly shit may happen to you. So now when that shit starts happening, instead of cops coming down and doing their job and investigating why a cop got clapped, no.
How do you spell
illicit?
illicit?
15 cars, 4 deep, class 2s,
illicit.
and come through here and spray. You know what I call that, Dave?
How do you spell
I
illicit?
call that get back. So if you're gonna act like that,
oh, with the I, that eliciting.
And then after you come down here and clap, what do? Now you want to be a cop. Now you want to slap cuffs. Now you want to hit my pockets. Now you want to hit my house.
Is it with an E?
It can't be both ways. If you're gonna come down here, you're gonna be on that energy.
What the fuck?
Then respect that the energy is gonna be returned. Now in the barrio, Bobby Charles has found himself purchasing an apartment and gaslighting us every day that he's living there. He gets his ass beat, panic buttons his little ass off, and then you guys come all in there and aren't doing shit about it. I'm gonna continue to beat his fucking ass until he leaves. Because if his energy is gonna be that
no way,
post up and think we're gonna be neighborly, when in actuality all he wants to do is try to catch us down there doing
holy
work.
shit!
They've been acting like a gang for a while now. Shit talking on Twitter, calling us.
I'm making a list
to the leaders. Yo, your crew got wiped. Yo, y'all are fucking. I know y'all down there pushing. I'm about to roll through right now, 10 deep, and fucking y'all up. Yo, I don't feel like I'm talking to an officer, so I'm not gonna treat you like one. But once you put us down, Now
making a list
now we
and
acting like,
checking it
Now we
twice.
acting like we professionals. We roll up in MRPD acting like we did our jobs and shit. Nah, man. You guys have been on some shit for a while. So we said, stay the fuck out of the south side. Now it's just stay the fuck out. So when we said that, now you want to amass a fucking army and shit and try to just be like, no, we just gonna come down here because y'all said no. Not even responding to calls. Just in that bitch fucking acting like you a goddamn gang. So when you get that energy return, then you want to act like a bitch and shit and fucking talk shit when people down. I just don't get it. I don't know where the fucking shift happened. I don't know if motherfuckers was just, you know, getting fucking clapped up and couldn't take it anymore. But I'm telling you right now,
yo, Lex is spitting. Dunham, thank you the 18 months.
I can add on to Lex, and that happens to us too. It's actually kind of crazy that they come down to the block and just, like Lex said, and I'm just fucking repeating them right now, but it's just the same thing. We get the same attitude.
With what you say about banter and stuff and having banter with individuals, it's like someone can talk shit to me, right? But even then, if you shoot me down and then talk some shit, that's like going another while, you know? That's not banter.
Yeah,
that's gloating.
It's like when you're talking shit to somebody in the cells, like they can't leave. They can't go anywhere. They just have to take it, right? It's not it just shouldn't be happening.
I take my shit. Listen, man, I run my mouth. If I get clapped up back up, if he's on that energy, he's on some gang shit, he want to leave me there, that's one thing. But after that, now you want to be on something, you have the right to remain silent. Now you turn back into a cop. I don't know, bro. That's weird behavior to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I got a question for you. You said something when I pulled up that you were kind of, you know, go a little bit harder on the cops, talking shit and all that kind of shit, right? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I don't.
When did you implement
I personally.
That? You implemented that right now, or has it already been implemented?
So it is in the process of being implemented. I think that this might be hard for you to hear because obviously I wish I could just, you know, snap my fingers and everything would be perfect and fine. But I think that this is kind of a larger issue of a culture shift within the PD, right? And while I can immediately put in, you know, an announcement and say, knock it off, don't do this again. I think that this is a bigger issue of reminding, you know, not reminding, but telling officers that these are the expectations. I don't know when the expectations stopped being followed, but you need to be conducting yourselves as an officer. And it's going to take a little bit, I think, of an adjustment. You know, obviously units have been acting in a certain way for a while now, so getting people back on track, which I don't think will take, you know, too long. I don't want to say it's going to take months, but moving people into, you know, back into the direction of, you know, getting away from the shit talking, the antagonizing. I mean, it just should have never been in the first place. Should have never been happening. But
I mean,
basically,
you know, after all the shit that's been going on the south side, you would expect these motherfuckers just to start changing already. Because yesterday I got, I don't know what her name is, Officer Hayes or something like that, antagonizing us after dropping somebody off
we had two
somewhere.
names. I think it was.
I got Vivian Gray.
Vivian Gray, yeah.
I got Vivian
Hayes.
Gray talking to Saint when he's coughed, saying, "Stop being a fucking crybaby. Go back to your dad if you want to cry," or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, I've had
Still
cops call my members pussies. Like, what the fuck is that?
After 3 days of getting of fucking shooting them in the south side, like what?
It was
everybody
one of them
when you
two names.
I'll say that.
Yep.
It was one of either Vivian Gray or Hayes, I think, were the names that were mentioned. But I mean, it's been pretty evident what's been going on the last few days, right? If there's like a unit going through the south side, they get impressed instantly, right? So one goes through, and I think the phrase was "simmer down." Now, I don't know about you, but like I'm sure Mr. Malden over here will understand like I do. If you're British and you've got someone British telling you to simmer down, like, shit, I'd swing for you if you say that kind of shit.
Oh, really?
Like, there is a tone that you have when you say that shit that is as.
Wait, is that like really bad
in
to
the
say?
atmosphere of the South Side, you're getting shot for that. You know you're getting shot for
I had
that.
no
So
idea.
it's like,
It's
why
like
are
saying
you
little pup, right? It's basically like calling someone a bitch. Like say you a good little dog. Like be quiet.
Yeah,
and they know they're doing it.
I'm cool with the banter, bro. I'm cool with the name calling, all that shit. It's the overall mentality. I don't care. You call me whatever the fuck you want, man. But the other shit is what's crazy.
Can I? Solo unit going into the South Side where you know tensions are high, and you're being condescending towards groups that probably have multiple people nearby that are more than willing to shoot you right now. It's like, it's, you know, that worst comes to worst, you know, you get shot, more than likely it's going to hit
in
you
America,
in the body
simmer
armor,
down
you go to
doesn't
hospital, you get
mean
your bruises
anything,
checked
really.
over, and you're out in 5 minutes.
And it feels real good when that panic button goes off and all the other cops show up.
Yeah.
That's how it feels, to be honest. When the solos come down antagonizing, like basically asking to get shot, I feel like I have no problem saying they feel real good when that panic button goes off.
Who are are there consistently the same officers that are rolling into these areas by themselves?
You know, Daisy, I had to tell you this, but the biggest problems at the moment is LSPD for us.
Oh,
BCSO has
shit.
their own little individuals, but they're individuals. LSPD is literally the entire force.
There were a lot of solo officers in LSPD doing this shit. BCSO, I have noticed, will normally have 4 in a car.
Yeah, this meeting was brought together to like kind of settle shit, like or come to terms or something like that. I'm not really. This is about as far as snitching or telling you're gonna get from me. So I'm not dropping names for cops. I'm just gonna say every cop I deal with.
That's fine.
Is an issue.
Just in general, you know, I don't think that officers should be, you know, responding to calls.
Holy fuck!
By themselves. It's just not safe.
Gang toast in general, man. Like we've had people come up to where we obviously know, like motherfuckers know we slinging shoemass, right? And we'll have officers come up there. I had Shiesty come up there on the megaphone on his own saying, "We're gonna get you later, ballers." And it's like, for me, do I then turn around and go, okay, everybody go post up in shoemass because he just told us that the cops are gonna come down later? Or do I say, ignore that motherfucker, I can see what he's trying to do? It puts me in that position.
Cinch Peters, but no one else.
That's where my
Yeah.
process goes. Do I say, everybody strap up and get ready because the cops are going to come down later? Because that's what he's asking for, in my opinion. He obviously, and then I kind of have the choice of, do I say that or do I go, nah? You know?
I respect what you're saying, Lex, and I guess the question kind of goes around is who, for those who are willing to name names, can we go through those names? And the reason why this is important is while the culture needs to change across the board, pointing out the biggest problem children goes a long way, right? Because if those problem children get stomped out from a policy level, that has the biggest effect, right? So I've heard
you know, I'd like to tack on to that and say, especially if these are members of LSPD or BCSO command, you know.
Yeah.
Command members are, you know, the leaders of these departments, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those, like, you know, if officers, cadets see command members acting in a certain way, they may follow suit. So I need to know, you know, is this members of command, because they need to be obviously holding themselves to a higher standard. They need to know, they have to have the understanding that their actions are going to, we're going to see what they're doing.
Basil, thank you for the 5 months. I want to make it, you know, for my note taking, I want to go into categories. Who are the cops that talk shit on Twitter that inappropriately, let's say?
It's okay if you guys don't want to say anything, I do understand.
Yeah.
I'll just say mainly TRT, if that helps. I'm gonna just try to say no specific names, but it's TRT, and then there's a certain lieutenant, which he's been doing a lot of shit as well. But again, I ain't trying to drop no names. I'll go sort of, we'll find them ourselves.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
Is that Vic Hanna? Because Vic is the only LT right now.
We had a problem with Hannah. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no. There's BCSO lieutenants. I'm
gonna name names that have already been named here, because I want you to give me a yes or a no, or just remain silent. And I want to reiterate that, if the whole problem is not resolved, you get what I'm saying, right? If
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So
well, that's
I'm gonna
why
go
I'm here.
through
That's what I'm saying. Because it's
so,
the whole reason I'm not trying to finger point to anybody, bro. Because first of all, I'm not about that shit. And second of all, if you're coming to me about a problem about my gang, I'm not gonna ask you who. I'm just gonna address the whole fucking gang. And I think that's the difference here, bro. Is that like motherfuckers want to just individualize shit when everybody's around. We had that situation with 20 fucking cops around, hostage situation. Everybody just follow everybody. So if you guys got policies and procedures you got to stick to, just fucking tell everybody this shit. I'm not sitting here trying to identify one or the other.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a cop in Middle Park. I forget the name, annoyingly. I'm annoyed that I forget the name. I had a good conversation with a cop from LSPD. They were in a CDPI on their own. They said they got shot in a similar location the day before that, so that would have been 3 days ago. It was on Bridge Street. If that narrows down who it was.
Yeah, that's what they don't understand. It's like they have to.
What I said to that
because the thing is, Daisy's not going to know all this information.
Tired of motherfuckers in the police starting shit with people, and then he's got to deal with it as somebody that just don't want problems like that. And it was good to hear somebody have that mentality. And what I said to them was, they said to me, it's a loud minority that's causing the issues. What I said to them, and I think that this is for you, I really do recommend this. Being the way that you shift the culture is make the majority loud. If the majority,
but the thing is, I think it is LSPD in this shift, and then it changes.
I was like, call it out, speak up more.
But
if
this
you
guy,
have a problem with it, and you don't say it, it's gonna continue being a problem. If it really is a loud
but right now, it shouldn't be
all these fucking issues. All you need to do is you need to empower all your other officers to go against these stupid fucks that's causing problems for everybody. And if all these guys that all have problems are always shouting up, then you don't need to be having meetings with us. The fact that you even having to have meetings with us shows you just how fucking scared the other officers are to talk up, because they talk to me about it.
I think what it is, and I'm trying to put myself in Daisy's shoes, right, is they run on a 24/7 schedule. And what I've been witness to myself is cops protecting cops, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Over this last weekend, there's incidents. You probably saw my tweet the other day, right? Y'all see my tweet?
Which one about?
Cops baiting death is fucking cringe. Over the weekend, I got, or this week, over the weekend, there was it was brought to my attention that a set of officers were giving their location while they had a bounty on their head at Senior Buns. And that's some like human shield shit. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's like, well, if you're baiting them down here and then you get shot up, you're putting all these civilians and businesses at risk. It's fucking brain dead. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you right now, most of the force does not know about this, because those that were involved made sure that information didn't go up to the top. You get what I'm saying? So while this is like a bigger problem and it should not happen, it's actually that cracked. And that becomes sort of the challenge, is like, now this, let's say, lands on Daisy's desk or Peter's desk, it becomes like an allegation, because those who are in the know are making sure that information doesn't get to them, so that disciplinary action cannot be taken, whether it's a suspension or a firing. So
you guys not have like a fucking HR or an IA inside of fucking PD? Investigates all this shit?
That's another political problem.
But
Yeah.
it
Seems
depends.
like you're gonna need that.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is the thing, right? For example, the thing with IA and all that shit. Let's give a current example. Is you've got the head of the justices is also the head of the marshals, which is also the head of police and the cops. But they also roll around with the cops.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, which was the same as when Max was the mayor, and he was also the commissioner, which was meant to discipline the cops, but then ended up rolling up on drug busts with a gun out with the cops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's been multiple instances, and this is what I was saying in the last meeting was the common denominator is the people that are getting put in charge of disciplining people end up just as bad as the people that they're supposed to discipline.
Yeah.
Yep.
Power fucking corrupts.
And
you
that
know what I'm
was
saying?
if it was in place anyway. But you've also got the fact that I can think from the top of my head just recently there was a single car with 4 police officers inside, and the driver was just slow rolling through our turf, and the 3 others that weren't driving were all sat there saying, "Get the fuck out of here," and the driver was not listening to him, right? And nothing's gonna happen there because them other 3 aren't gonna say shit because that's their friend.
Yeah. And that's kind of the impasse I'm pointing at, right? Is that yes, it needs to change, but like I don't even know who that is. You know what I mean? Let's say I somehow magically had the power as mayor to be like, I can fire these people. If I don't know who it is, I can't fire them. You know what I mean?
I think
Is that not a job of the marshals, though?
No, they ain't gonna do shit.
But let's be honest, the marshals are literally as bad as the fucking cops lately.
If not worse.
I feel worse.
Doing
Yeah,
the
exactly.
same shit with the fucking cops. They were also antagonizing in the cells and shit like that. So.
But they also make the laws, because as I just explained, the top of the marshals is also the top of the justices, which makes the laws. So they can just decide what they can do or not.
Judge, jury, and execution.
On the fly, almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they also have that big ass revolver.
We have
a
a
hole in SK's shoulder.
Real quick, we got a 5-minute warning.
I do want to say that.
Oh yeah, please say.
I think your suggestion about enabling the majority, right, is a good route to take. It's like we talked about. This is really an overall culture shift within the LSPD, within the PD as a whole, both departments. I don't like the fact that I'm hearing from you guys that you feel that units, officers are operating as a third gang, you know. That's not how. It's just frankly that's how it shouldn't be. You know, I think that they're.
Yeah, we need names.
Part of maybe what is happening.
I've got some of them right here, but we also got to understand like who's the biggest
month and a half,
and who's not, because otherwise taking action becomes very difficult.
A substantial number of units now. We do have more numbers. There's you know no way else to put it. Which is good, obviously, but at the same time, it's an adjustment on our part. It's obviously an adjustment on your part as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna point it out.
Where I come into this, where command comes into this, is we have to look at those numbers now, and we have to make sure that we aren't having, you know, an excess number of units roll into an area, or frankly, just this idea of rolling into an area, right? Our work is based off of investigations. We need to make sure that those investigations are happening. You know, if there is a drug call in an area, you know, what steps are being taken?
Chat, none of this is OOC.
Units actually rolling in, right?
Yeah.
Making sure that officers are conducting themselves in the right way, that they aren't shit talking, that they aren't, you know, kind of making people feel bad for what's happening, and especially when, you know, you're on the ground,
shake, sub.
There's nothing you can do about that. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that, you know, it kind of people are saying things in those situations. You have no defense, right? You have no way to get away from that situation. I've never liked when officers do that, and you know, I'm gonna crack down as hard as I can.
Yeah.
It's also about speaking to the leaders in the department and telling them this is how it's gonna be. You need to be enforcing this and holding them accountable for enforcing it. You know, the leaders, including myself, need to lead by example.
Okay.
And I think when we get the leaders within the departments on board with this, you know, there is going to be a shift.
What if you don't get them together? What if they don't agree?
If they don't, well, there's no if about it. It's their job, and this is the policy I'm setting forth. And if they don't like it, they, you know, it's fuck them.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's a leader right there. This is what's been needed.
But, you know, you got to give me a little bit of time. This isn't going to be an overnight thing. You know, I can set these policies in, but it does take time for that culture shift to happen.
Of course, what I'm hearing here is that, as you're telling me that in the next fucking couple weeks, I'm still gonna get people coming out to my block and talking shit.
I don't think.
People are still gonna do shit, but it's got to go up.
I'm sorry to interrupt here.
Yeah,
but it's like I understand that it's gonna take time, but at the same time.
No, hear me out. Is that I can set these policies in place immediately, but what I need is if people are going against the policy, I need to know.
Yeah.
Because then I have my receipt, right? I have my receipt now of I have said you can't do this. Why the fuck are you doing this now?
Yeah.
You know.
I think
I want to give you an example. Go ahead, Andre.
One way for you to get that more often is for example, empower the majority, right?
Yeah.
If you have cops that you know do come to you with shit, right? Maybe the play is put those cops with people that you have ideas might be fucking around. Literally just say you have to roll with this person for a while, because you know that cop's gonna call them out. I think that would be a good way in the short term. So get your trusted officers. They're definitely gonna go tell you shit, and put them in all these different departments. Like literally move people around. Get these motherfuckers in there that are gonna call it out, talk about it, tell you about it. Put them in the positions where you need to know shit that's going on, and make sure that you have somebody from each different group of cops, because as Nino said before, they're not unified. So make sure that you put somebody in there that is going to talk to you in each group, and then you're going to know shit. That simple. It's the same way I run my gang.
You know, I think it's also a matter that I need to be patrolling more, and I need to be myself, and Peters and members of command need to be holding people accountable in the moment too. I don't get the opportunity to patrol as much as other people, but I need to take it, you know, I need to have accountability in this too, and take it upon myself to be out there and seeing this firsthand.
They're gonna act different with you there, just so you know.
Hey, are we able to make it after tsunami, or do we want to cut it here?
Before
I'll be around after.
Okay, I'll be around.
Okay, yeah, we can meet up right here.
All right, easy.
Yeah, but yeah, they will act different with you there.
And that should be
the same
the
way my gang
standard.
does.
Marshall's on the roof. Marshall's on the roof.
Oh shit!
It's just Nova.
Oh. It's coming from our weed again. All right, see you later.
All right, see you in a bit.
Bye.
Go. Wiedersehen.
I'm gonna once after